Oh boy! Time to make a video!
Now it's time to start the day with a shower. Whew, I am refreshed. And where's all my stuff? It died. What? I just started it. How? I don't know, you're smelly. Find some way to dig up some niche content. That always works. Dig. I got it. Shovel Knight, one of the classics of the indie scene in the mid-2010s. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing this guy. Smash Brothers, Fall Guys, Yooka-Laylee, Arby's? I mean, Shovel Knight must have a bunch of games beginning this much love. He has 2 games. The Shovel Knight game isn't just the big blue guy. You get 3 other knights with completely different levels and gameplay styles. That'll change the game in a pretty big way. That basically gives you 3 full other games to be added on top of our dual-bladed friend here. And the lovely Team Over Yacht Club Games added these for completely free, as the game originally was a Kickstarter project where they ended up making $300,000, topping its puny $75K goal. Also adding challenge mode, battle mode, and gender swap mode. So does Shovel Knight still hold up? Or does it fall in the hole of other mediocre games? There's only one way to find out. And in the famous words of Shovel Knight, raise thy shovel. It was the only thing I could find. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm really trying, guys. And so Shovel Knight starts out really simple. Our hero, Shovel Knight, and his lady friend, Shield Knight, are best buds. But oh no! After a climatic battle, Shield Knight goes missing, and Shovel Knight goes into a midlife crisis. But not to worry, the castle shows back up later, and Shovel Knight knows exactly what he must do. Now our goal is to go from castle to castle and defeat each of the Knights of No Order to get our red love back. The game instantly brings you into stunning pixel art. I mean, look at this guy! We all love this guy, right? Oh no, I killed him! This is coupled with amazing music for each stage. Every level truly feels like a sort of a mini adventure, with unique enemies, platforming challenges, and fun secrets to find. But Shovel Knight isn't an uncomplicated game. You run, you jump, you dig, and you bounce. But our rusty suited friend isn't stuck with just his ovular blade. For going to the secret areas or buying them after, you get relics, which are equipable weapons. The relics give you abilities you wouldn't otherwise have, like invincibility or big green globs. And these are such great adds to the game. Without them, this game would be a fun romp through a nice world. With them, you feel so powerful. And once you get used to them, you can really pull off some crazy stuff in a lot of these levels. But that doesn't mean you can just blast through a level with just one relic. You'll need to be strategic about it. You always gotta use your brain. It's not all about those thumbs. And if you aren't using your brain, you can kiss all of your money goodbye. And a thing I feel like is really overlooked about Shovel Knight is its fun death mechanic, as you lose all of your gold in the exact spot that you perished, so you can easily get it again. But if you die on top of that, you don't get nada. So you gotta make sure that you're being careful when you're trying to retrieve your items. Now don't worry guys, a professional has got this. Yeah! Damn. While this mechanic is really fun at first, by the time you've gone through your 4th playthrough, it kind of starts to feel tedious. What's not tedious is the level design. Not just limited to the Shovel of Hope, but throughout the whole entire game, the levels are so unique. You're not going to find any levels that are feeling too similar. Foreshadowing! Some of my favorites are Propeller Knight's airship. You're actually climbing up the airship, having to both dodge and platform on cannonballs. Spectre Knight, you're having to explore the graveyard and having to fight off ghosts and unbreakable trees! Oh, it's so scary. Holy no! I think you missed me. And at the end of every main level, you face off against the knight of that area. These boss fights are always fun, not ever being too much of a struggle. I think my personal favorite is Tinker Knight, since his first form is just some baby man running around. But then BAM! He brings out fucking Starscream to attack you. And if you're talking about bosses, you gotta talk about the final boss of the first game, the Enchantress. First, you have to take on her incredibly stupid tower, which I will admit, I died to this way too many times. Like an embarrassing amount of times I died to this. While the Enchantress is kind of boring, her final boss it definitely isn't. She zips and crashes into the whole screen like she's had a few too many potions. Heyo! The battle is a true test of resource management. To most bosses, you can just throw the entire kitchen sink at them and you'll win and go on home. But with her 2 phases and tricky enough platforming, she truly deserves the final boss lane. And with her 2nd phase, you finally get to reunite with your true love, Shield Knight, and take on her true form of the Enchantress. Ooh la la! After everyone's, and I mean everyone's reaction to the real Enchantress, you take her down alongside with her castle, and even Shield Knight. Our shiny blue friend escapes the tower without his knight, living a life forever with no love. She lands able to defeat the Enchantress, or at least hold her off, and her reward is to be able to lay with the Blue Prince. Shovel Knight was a massive success, being talked about by anyone who was even into video games at the time. I mean, heck, even I had the game, and I was this really cool thing called poor. I did and still do love this game. Every single aspect you can just tell was so lovingly crafted by a team of people who just wanted to have fun and make a game they're proud of. And with that, I really don't have any major issues at all with the game. So let's play something I can whine about. Plague of Shadows, the first expansion after Shovel Knight. Can it live up to the greatness that was Shovel Knight? Probably not. But we might as well see. So what's Crowboy's deal? Well, basically, he's also in love, but his girl isn't possessed. Like some loser! Your actual goal is to find all the parts of a super mega potion to make you indestructibly strong. But our real goal is to get these two lovebirds together by the end. And what I really like about these expansions is that they also bring back the old, colorful background characters. Like Mona was just that really boring minigame room in Shovel Knight. So now being promoted to the main love interest, it's really fun to see. Now, gameplay-wise, it's a completely different brew, because you keen folks at home have realized this guy has no shovel. So instead, Plague Knight makes potions with completely different effects, ways to use them. While you could stick with one potion, it's often encouraged to switch based on needs for that level or boss. Going to the actual difficulty of the game, the different bottles plus still being able to use many relics makes this game super easy. As long as you're even somewhat decent at switching your items, you can get through most areas pretty effortlessly. And the problem for the whole game is I just pasted a lot of Shovel Knight's groundwork for Plague Knight. Basically, no areas feel designed to have Plague Knight there. So you aren't encouraged to run along the bottom like Shovel Knight. You're floaty, so you just jump over almost all of the enemies in your way. The game just doesn't fully play with his capabilities. Just throwing him in the clearance aisle at Dollar General to let him rot there. Some secret areas may have been different, but I don't remember any that stood out to me. So sadly, that makes Plague Knight seem just a bit too samey for me to really enjoy him. This game even concludes the same as Shovel Knight, having the same PowerPoint segments in the game the first one has. Fight all the bosses, climb over the dumb tower, and fight the first phase of the Wicked movie. Now where we do change things up are with the second phase of the boss fight, being a scary version of us this time, and being my personal favorite final boss. The final boss just seems super connected to the Plague Knight's story, actually tying into a lot of the things that he is dealing with and what he's thinking of. But after beating our evil doppelganger, Plague Knight finally gets the girl of his dreams. Another happy ending. Can't wait for these to continue. Oh, it's so beautiful. But overall, Plague of Shadows is actually still a really good game. It just gets outshined because of its similarities to Shovel of Hope and not having as many differences as the next two expansions we'll be looking at. Speaking of the others, Yacht Club Games really went crazy with its next expansion, being Spectre of Torment. And I didn't like it. So our friend Spectre Knight here used to be just a regular guy until he's mortally wounded climbing the tower of whoever. And the only one who can save him is Gruntilda over here. So she gives him a little makeup over here, a little robe, a little ghostly armor. And now Spectre Knight's new goal is to recruit all of the other knights to form the Order of No Quarter. This is the game I connected the least with the story with. There was multiple flashbacks to explain his backstory, but every single time I grew to like Spectre less and less. Like, yeah, you kind of deserve this, buddy. You were picking fights with my queen. And picking fights is what Spectre Knight is all about. The suck, as I like to call it, or the Spectre Splash. This thing lets you zip to enemies and candles to be the fastest thing alive. It's even got sonic rails. Come on, this game's great. This game really feels like it wants you to speed through the entire thing, which is where my first complaints start. Unlike the previous two campaigns, you need to be proficient in the slash. If you aren't, you can say hello to many deaths. I don't find Spectre Knight's added difficulty to be really that enjoyable, due to the previously mentioned touchiness of his controls, and a few areas that just feel like they're made to trick you. But there are things that this game does really well, and one of those things I would say are the remixed boss fights and the levels. The bosses here are specifically designed for Spectre's moveset, and you can tell. And a lot of it feels like Mega Man design, with if you have a certain relic with you, it makes the fight a lot easier. The new relics are so much fun, actually having crazy abilities like phasing through walls to fight an enemy, or just becoming a JoJo's. And by the end of the game, you truly feel like a boss. And the levels are just so fun to go through, even if they are a little shorter than the previous ones. Having so many brand new sections that are completely different from Shovel Knight or Plague Knight, completely turning the idea of the level on its head. Like our friend Mole Knight, where you get a new wrinkle with the bouncy candles, plus a whole new outside area that's in the mountains. And with all these changes to the game, you'd expect they'd change the final boss, which they did, but it's not that great. It's just not a fun boss. He lives for way too long, and only having 3 other mandatory rail sections the entire game makes it really strange why they would choose to make this the final boss instead of having something more simple. Now, are my problems with the game that it's way more challenging than the other ones? Yeah, I'm a wuss. Take a good look at me. Do you think I can do anything challenging? Bam!
Yeah, you are kind of a wuss, huh?
Hey man, that's really uncalled for. You don't have to be an asshole about it. Like, I already knew I was going through some shit and you just made it worse. So like, thanks for that, I guess. Now that everyone stopped being rude to me, we can start our final expansion with King Knight. He's gonna have a royal adventure, I just know it.
Now let's talk about the King, the final expansion Shovel Knight, and they went bigger and better. So King Knight here, he isn't quite all there. He's vain, quick to anger, and well, pretty dumb. Including the plot, where we actually aren't just trying to reach the evil castle, but becoming the Joustus champion. This is the card game they introduced for this version, and it's actually kind of fun. It's really simple, just pushing cards out of the way, so yours are the only ones that are left on the screen. And for all of you haters of joy and fun, you can even buy cheats, so you can almost instantly win a match. That's actually a really clever way to include everyone, even if they don't enjoy the card minigame. A lot of the biggest changes in this game come from the level design, rather than the mechanics of King Knight. Instead of just fighting each of the castles for the 4th time, the levels are split up into much smaller adventures. They often just deal with one mechanic at a time, before completely dropping it, unlike before where you get a few new ideas for each castle. This allows the devs to show off all the tricks they've learned on how to fine-tune these levels. They're all pretty short, but there's a bunch of them letting you pick where to go. I had a blast going through almost all of these levels, mainly because King Knight's arsenal is so much fun. The shoulder bash and spin, while being completely different from the others, makes you feel like a complete beast. Speaking of King Knight's arsenal, his relics are amazing. Bullfrog, Rat Bombardier, and Spectre of Swiftness, all of these I thought were really funny, but they're actually all really useful as well. Maybe some of the best relics that any of the knights get overall. And it just seems like Yacht Club Games really mastered the design of this game by King Knight. And they also mastered the pixel art. If you thought the characters were expressive before, now they feel like they have real life in them. I mean, obviously our star is at the top, with his crying and his sitting and his freaking aura farming. I think King Knight is and should be considered the magnum opus of the Shovel Knight games. From adding a whole new game mode, having the most well-designed levels of any of the expansions, a lot of totally unique enemies and bosses, this all leads to this expansion being my favorite in the series. King Knight was just so good. It makes me want to be king too. You know what? Death, go get me an apple.
Yeah, I got an apple for ya.
What are you doing, trying to kill me?
Of course I'm trying to kill ya. It's my name.
Oh, no, that's fair. That's perfectly fair.
I mean, I
get it.
I'm gonna continue now. Thank goodness that's over. I don't have to worry about that loser ever again. You think you can kill me? I'm dead.
What am I gonna do? I don't have any options. Except...
Shovels. My one weakness.